Hello and welcome back to me playing Oxygen Not Included in hard mode. Dupes eating twice the amount of calories, getting stressed out easily, don't handle radiation that well. So the washroom has nearly been backed up. That's because this system here has too much water in it. Dupes are just showering too much, using the washroom, and not enough usage of the actual water system. So what I'm going to do is actually build a spot here to store the excess amount of water. First thing I need to do is clear out this area. On the other asteroid, I'm getting the dupes to load in. So they have six Wheezy warts. I've got 20 tons of iron ore. Now, just before they leave, I'm going to fill this with food that's been storing up here. Might as well take food with me. But just before they leave, I decided I'm going to add insulation over here and a little bit more over here just before I leave. Alright, so let's figure out the piping here. So the new path is going to be water that comes out, this purified, is going to go into this liquid reservoir. If the liquid reservoir is full, then it'll direct it up and just vent it out within this whole container area. And then when the system needs water for electrolyzer, washroom, or whatever have you, it's going to have water's going to go out of the liquid reservoir and it'll bypass this, meaning that the pump won't take any water unless this thing is empty, and this is going to direct water to go into the system. I can then get rid of these. And then I'll be storing excess water here with a pitcher pump. Might as well build my supercomputer over here, since it's going to be right next to where water is going to be. Of course, that's going to be a little bit better if that has a lamp. Automation so the lights aren't on all the time. Try to get away from producing things out of steel when they're not needed. Connect everything like this. So while I'm waiting for water to fill in that through that new system, I'm going to rebuild a material study terminal. That's going to need to have red bulb generator above it, and I'll have a lamp on either side like this. So that's the tiles for the lamp. Let's put in the actual lamp. So it'll be lamp here, lamp here. I'll even put a storage bin for the uranium ore. So as I recall, I need to put a NOT gate at the end of this. Make that out of lead now. Basically saying if it's not full, then this thing is allowed to have power. And I'll use a power shutoff for that. Put that right here. Heavy watt wire is going to make its way, access these three things. Won't connect it just yet. And the other bit is lights. It'd be nice if scientists have some lights while they're doing this research. So make sure that gets put in. I need to have a ladder to access that construction, but anyway, I have a dupe sensor controlling the lights that are over here. Okay, so while that's being constructed, let's go over here and see if any water has moved. It has. Okay, so finally this is starting to drain a little bit. Finally getting water to be stored in here, and when this thing is full, it'll actually leak into this whole area, giving access to water in my pitcher pump. Have a check on these two dupes. They're continuing the process of doing some insulation before they take off. So the system is ready to be powered up. So that's a red bulb generator. It's going to be going off, consuming lots of power. And then I just need the dupes. It's not really doing much right now, but I just need the dupes to enable, put some of this uranium ore into these things. we should be good. I see a dupe on the way. I think that's exactly what's going to be happening. Alright, so that's one of them. Halfway there. That gives me, what, 700 grad volts per cycle. If we do the other side... Oh, apparently we're still really concentrating on that one side, dude. There we are. We'll get 1400, and that's going to allow me to put some rad bolts into this. And the thing I want to research, I may already have it selected, but I don't want to burn through all my uranium ore. I'd rather get a research reactor. So let's research that. And then while that is going on, I'm going to be putting my research reactor up here. I'm just going to build some protection from the radiation so that I can do some construction in this area, starting with this spot here where I'm going to build a ladder going up. Installation project has been complete, so let's disable this fridge, and inside the rocket I'll enable this fridge, put all food at high priority. And as soon as that food is there, we can take off. We are clear to send this rocket back. Let's make sure both dupes are there. So it's Explorer and Miner. You can go in the rocket now. I'm going to send this... Oh! Okay, apparently we need a little bit of carbon dioxide first. I'm going to try a trick out here. Let's change the location to just be the border of that asteroid. Let's see what happens. Let's just make sure we're producing oxygen. This asteroid, we're not. It'll be easily fixed. The oxygen diffuser. Good luck, dupes. You're hanging off storage bin. Alright, 10 seconds, and they should be over here and not able to land according to the game, or the rocket. But let's see if I can make it land anyways. So if I say, change this. Yeah. Okay, nice. So even though I didn't have enough gas, according to it, to do it all in one trip, the tank's completely empty. That was a risky move. I mean, I did make a backup save. But there they are. So that's an interesting trick. I think it was AJ that had mentioned that before, so thank you for that. So yeah, even if you can't actually get to the asteroid, if you can get to the one before it, just get there and tell the dupes to go crash into the asteroid, and that'll work. Alright, now that they're back, I can plant some wheezy worts, but I also wouldn't mind finally getting this system connected. This is going to be the cooling line going in and around here, so that will make its way, go in from the bottom, make our way around to the top. This is going to keep the pump and the oil well cool. Be connected like that. So now that they're back on the warm asteroid, I'm going to go to the snazzy suit, give that to Miner, so they'll take off their warm clothing, and let's go to Explorer. Probably don't want to wear that unequipped clothing. Just put your standard on, because you're not in a very hot zone like you, or very cold zone like you used to be. So they've just been expanding the little area where the pips have been growing. Oh, pip went for a fall. In the home world, this ladder has been created up here. Even put in a fire pole for the dupes to be able to get back down. A bit of confusion as to which way to go here, whether I'll use masks, or actually not use masks at all, or at most suits. Yeah, this is absolutely terrible. Yeah, you're going to build that, aren't you? Yeah, no, This is why this is a very bad idea. You do not want to do this. So we're gonna lock this door. And I think if I see putting in this tile kind of what did it. Made a path available, I didn't realize. So let's destroy that. And then the dupes will no longer be able to go into this zone unless they're specifically going through here. Why are you sleeping on the floor? That's crazy. Just to make sure you actually have a bed. And you did. You're just choosing to sleep on the floor, that's fine. No power here. Oh, that's because this is full. Excellent. I wonder if that's the hold up there is because there's no water. Well, this is nearly full. So it shouldn't take too long before we can advance this supercomputer. Just realized I've got two supercomputers. Let's get rid of one that's further away from the pitcher pump. So now that the liquid reservoir is full, this is leaking water out, which means the pitcher pump now has access to water, which means the supercomputer does. And this will keep pouring out unless this thing becomes empty, and then the pump will take it out again. But I can see that this thing's currently full, so that won't be the case for a bit. So all the piping is ready for the salt or brine to go through here. I disabled that by simply removing this liquid bridge, so I can put this back, because I didn't want brine to spill over everywhere. But now that that's all constructed, they can put that back in. So now I can see the brine line making its way through, and that's going to continue to allow me to run the oil well long term as the temperatures over here are maintained. Let's look at the home world. Okay, so the ladder's made it to the top. I'm going to build a tile right here. And this is going to be where I have all my steam turbines. So I'm going to have a research reactor down here creating a lot of steam. I kind of don't need to have this going on just yet. Actually, let's build that up one. But yeah, I'm going to have the research reactor running without the steam turbines for a bit. But the reason I want to put the insulated tiles like this, even if I don't build the steam turbines, is I know A, I'll want them eventually, but B, they're going to give additional protection from radiation. No special, radiation protection because it's insulation, but just being there makes it a little bit safer to do construction down here, because the dupes are going to do a lot of construction in this area in the next little bit. See, someone is not feeling too well. Not radiation poisoning, I think that's food poisoning. So the oil well needs water in order to run. And I brought a lot of water with me in terms of water bottles. I just need a place to dump that. So that's what I'm doing here, just carving out an area I can dump a lot of water and then have that pumped into this area. So it's going to make its way down here and into the oil well. Dupes in the home world are ready to continue building this system out, so I'm going to measure this. I'm going to have several rooms of height 4, 4, and 4. So the top room, that'll be for steam turbines. This is where steam exists. More steam turbines here. And then finally, this is going to be the floor. Now this, I will want to have a stairway going down so that I can put some petroleum right here, preventing the steam from getting out and leaking into space. So that's how the setup's going to be. This is actually going to be a floor area. And I'd rather have them build this first. If no other reason, then this is going to provide more protection from radiation when they go down here. So let's do that. Check on the dupes over here. Alright, so we've got this system now, it looks like, for water. Water will be able to go into the oil well, which means this will be the first time I have an oil well operating. So let's put some water in all three of these. Maybe we'll start with high priority and I'll send it back to normal after a little bit. Miners picked up some water, dropped it off in several of those emptiers, and now we're seeing water make its way to the oil well. And once that reaches the oil well, that starts spitting out some crude oil. And we're actually producing our own crude oil. Now that's not going anywhere yet, but I'll have that. Actually, speaking of which, maybe let's destroy this. And I'll design a rocket that can actually store that. Technically, I already have one of these ones. This one was capable of storing it, but it's not here right now, so that's fine. I can destruct that and recreate it. Decided why not just put layer tiling up here, just to add to the protection. To this one at higher priority. So we have a brand new rocket. Let's start off as always, giving that some oxygen. So even with this setup, that's not enough water for the supercomputer because I want to get back doing a lot of research. So I'm going to put a liquid vent right here. I'm going to connect that to the water supply system. So it's going to send water in. So now I'll be guaranteed to have a certain level of water here regardless of what's going through this part of the system. So this is being constructed. Soon I'll start to have some water arrive here in the supercomputer because this has been slowing down my research progress since water is required. Here we are. So now I've got water regardless of what's happening with this system. And I can get back to research. So scientists, just press the button and go away. Come back and do research when you can. So to advance research on, I'm going to set the priority to this to be a little bit higher. So it's a supercomputer. Building a second research station. And I'm going to set the priority of these buildings to be a little bit higher. That's just going to tell scientists, the only one that can actually use the 3 specialized machines, use those first, and leave the basic research to the rest of the dupes. So this moment, I'm just measuring how many steam turbines I'm planning to have. So it's going to be this many. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus an additional 9 on the wings, bottom wings. So really I just want to know how far to go across. The steam turbines are actually going to be built on a level up. So let me just take the steam turbines out. That's basically how long I want the wall to be, or a flooring. So that's a top flooring. I'll want the same thing on this one as well. Going to the point where we meet right there. And just because I get a little bit of radiation protection, I'm just going to tell the dupes do this one at higher priority. Next goal I have for this asteroid is planting some Wheezy works. So I want to have them built or planted by pips. This location also want to have some drywalling put in, so I'll start that process now. Here and here, and if I'm going to have some pips in there to do this, I'm going to need to lock them in, so I'll need a door. Put a ceiling in this area, so I'll need one spot that'll have a place to drop off the critters. It's going to be right there. Can make another tile here. Actually, ultimately I want to make this out of glass, but that'll be later. I don't think a pip can get through this thing, so I think that actually will trap them in. I'll need to put the Weezywort seeds in, so I'll need a storage bin for that. And I don't want the pip to plant anything right here, so I'll just put a ladder there at low priority. So we've got 3 Weezyworts here. I can drop those out of the bin. I'm going to tell the dupes to drop a pip there at this location. I'm going to wrangle this. I don't know if I have one of the pip or one of the dupes that have the skill. I'll have to give one of them that. Let's do that. Give that to Explorer Farming, Critter Ranching 1. I'll take that pip and relocate them in this old room. First pip's being dropped off. Just gotta wait for them to decide to pick up. Actually, just noticed that that's another spot that they could build something I don't want it to be. I want to build or plant something here, here, and then here. So Pip, get to it. Just making the inside of this rocket on an oily asteroid. A little bit of crude oil. It's just going to maintain a vacuum on this side. And we'll do a little bit of mopping. Having a really hard time getting this Pip to plant something right here. Went to the extent of actually building a groom station to try to improve its happiness, to see if that's what it'll do it. I don't have any wild plants in the area. I know that you've got to take wild plants so many 5 or 6 tiles away, but we're clear. Dug out all the ones that are around there. So maybe this grooming station will fix that. So this Pip still won't plant anything right here. So I've got a theory that maybe it only plants things when it has atmosphere. This is a vacuum, so I'm going to get some oxygen in there and see if that does anything. So that was a surprise. The moment oxygen got in here, the Pip planted that thing. I did not know that Pips required an atmosphere to actually plant anything. Anyway, that is a bit of news. I will destroy this and see if I can get the second one planted right here. So yeah, very quickly after putting oxygen in here, I all of a sudden have 3 Weezyworts planted. Anyway, I don't know if I explained why I was doing this, but Weezyworts actually generate radiation. So I now have 1,000 radbolts per cycle located right here. So if I actually put in a radbolt generator, let's see, make that igneous rock, I can make some radbolts, which I'm going to want to do for my probably the next episode, where I have a transportation network to send the crude oil, instead of via rocket, via launching them in space. I need radbolts for that. So that's what that whole thing was about. But anyway, note to self, if you're going to plant something with these little guys, they need some atmosphere. Let's look to see how the dupes on the homeworld are doing. They've got a floor they're creating. This is going to be for the Research Reactor. This is a very big area that I've essentially reserved 900 tiles worth or so. So that will continue. Mostly just waiting for research. Oh, it's complete. Awesome. Well, that being the case, this may be a good spot to stop. Essentially, I started off by producing water, getting this essentially not back up. It has a backup area to outlet some excess water that might come from the washrooms. That benefits the supercomputer. I even have this extra pathway for that to provide water for that. And then I've got research which is recently complete on a research reactor, which I'm going to construct in the next episode. And I even started on the area that I want to build that in, which is here. So the research reactor will be in this area, and it'll have some things around it. It's going to have 2 phases to it. The first phase is going to essentially just produce a small amount of radbolts, and I'll control it to not run 100% of the time. The other bit is going to be a full set of steam turbines to make it run forever and not need to provide new water once it's been topped up. And then on this asteroid, after a little bit of detective work and playing with Pips, I have 3 Weezyworts. But not only that, we have the oil well functioning. So I've got a cooling system keeping that cool. And I've started the process of building another rocket. I can store that hot crude oil. And I'll be bringing some of this back with me so I get even more plastic for my home world. Well, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in another video.